Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. It is Tati, your natural nail guru, and today we're going to be talking about those pesky little curing issues we have sometimes when we are curing our gel. So have you ever put your hands inside the light, or maybe you had a client that puts their hand inside the light, and when the time's up and you take it out, you notice that all the nails are cured except for the thumb. Sometimes the thumb is just still really wet, and in extreme cases, it is like partially cured and it gets a little bit wrinkly. It probably looks a little bit like this.
Little picture's gonna come up.
So when you see that happening, and it's only happening to the thumb, it'll usually happen to that outer edge. It's usually an issue of the placement of the bulbs in the lamp versus the placement of the thumb. Now, more often than not, it's a quick fix. It's just a matter of making sure, number one, that when you're putting your hand or your client is putting their hand inside the light, that they don't have the hitchhiker thumb thing going on. Because we have lights usually at an angle right here. So if my thumb is like this and the light's like this, I'm kind of blocking that light from going around to that bottom side. So you want to make sure we don't have no hitchhiker thumbs going in there. Straighten out your thumb. And for thumbs that are really, really sideways, because the light is usually not at the bottom, it's always at an angle, then you want to try to make sure that you're flattening out your thumb when you're putting it in there. So those are just a couple little things that could easily be adjusted. Now for clients that it's, just the placement of their hands and their finger, it's just not very comfortable for them to try and position their thumb in the right way, or maybe the positioning of the LED lights or the depth of the LED lamp is making it more complicated, then it's not a big deal. In this case, what you want to do is polish the 4 nails, cure it, polish the 4 nails, cure it, then polish the 2 thumbs and cure that. And when you do that, you just want to make sure you move the LED lamp or the UV lamp close to the table so you have more comfort putting it in. That way you're not trying to do one of these things. When you are doing just the thumbs, a lot of times it's just easier to use the manual setting to turn the light on yourself, so you don't have to worry about that thumb being in long enough or in deep enough to automatically turn on the sensor. Now, if this is something that's happening on other nails, then the issue is generally going to be one of 2 things. Number one, you're applying the coats too thick. Some colors are super concentrated, very pigmented, and the coats need to be applied thinner. And with those colors, you also want to make sure that the base coat itself is also applied really thinly. You don't really need a thick base coat anyways, it should already be thin. But when you have really pigmented thick colors, you want to make sure that you're applying very, very thin coats just to give the surface an opportunity to really fully cure. This is usually going to happen with really thick white, black colors. Neon colors tend to be pretty pigmented, I notice. Let's see. That's pretty much the kind of color you'll expect it. But when you're working with a color, you'll see whether or not it's an issue when you identify it. Just remember that that color requires super, super thin coats. You don't want to wait and try to get away with it, because when you do get wrinkling, it's a pain in the butt to have to deal with it, which we'll talk about in just a second. So if the wrinkling is happening on more than just one nail, or not specific to the thumb, then it's generally going to be the thickness of the coats that you're applying, including the base coat. Another thing that it could be in some cases is the juice of the light is just gone. It's not pumping that much anymore. It's probably already been worn down a little bit, and unfortunately lights don't give us indicators that they need to be replaced, at least none that I've tried. If there's some that are out there, I'll be trying you. But if the light is the issue, what happens is that some parts of the gel are getting cured. Maybe the bulb that has a little bit more stronger of a light, but the even surface of the nail isn't getting cured. So once one piece starts getting cured, it pushes all the gushy gel from underneath to another side, and that's how you start getting all that uneven and that wrinkliness.
Actually,
forgot to mention that there really is a third option why the gel is not curing, and in a worst cases, it is just the gel polish itself. I've actually had 2 gel polishes that I've struggled with this issue. Golden Boyfriend from Perfect Match. Look, since the first time I ever bought that color, I have to be super careful because it will wrinkle for anything. And when I rebought the color, that bottle just did it even more. I'm recently, unfortunately, here it is. It's an awesome yellow, but I can't use it anymore. It's really a pain in my ass. Another one is Pump Up the Volume by OPI. That one, incredibly sheer on top of everything else, but my goodness, is that one completely uncurable. It's like a pain in my butt. I've had to completely get rid of those colors because it's just really a waste of time to have to work with. So yes, sometimes it could be the polish itself. But now that we've identified a couple of issues that happen in the curing process, how can we work with it? Well, When we have small little wrinkles like this one right here, I'll do a little close-up of it. When we have small little wrinkles like that, as long as you're able to harden it, 9 times out of 10, by the time you put the second coat and the top coat, it's gonna go away. This one is a little extra raised, so what I would do is wipe the nail. I'll show you guys. What I'll do is wipe the nail, I'll buff it a little bit to smooth it out, and then I'll go ahead and I'll just do another base coat, put another color coat, and then put my top coat. But when I have little tiny wrinkles like this, it's totally workable. When we have like this issue where you don't see much of a wrinkle, but all around the edge, you can totally see where the thickness is, and if you push up against it, it's really gushy. This is something where even, because this one I already put it in like 2 or 3 times to try to cure, and it just has this little thickness right there. This is definitely not something that is gonna be good for the manicure. So when it's a little spot like this, what I would generally do is I will cut it with my little nippers, wipe it, buff it. I'll put a coat of polish just on that side so it kind of equals up in tint, and I'll go ahead and do an overall coverage over the whole nail. If you're not comfortable in working with it like this and you're still not sure, just soak off the nail real quick. It's not going to take as long to soak off as when you have all the coats and the top coat. Same thing when you have an extreme issue like this one. Yeah, there's no saving that. Wipe it down, cut off all that extra stuff, put it to soak. It'll only take a couple of minutes, and just repolish. So really quickly, there we have it. If thumbs are the issue, adjust the thumbs or just save the thumbs for last. And if other nails are being an issue, make sure that you're using thin coats. Make sure that your lamp doesn't need to already get replaced, and make sure in worst case scenarios, if it's a color that's consistently having the issue, regardless of what you do to try to fix it, just get rid of the color. It's totally not worth it. It's a complete waste of time during the manicure. And if you're not addressing it and fixing it during the manicure, then your nails are going to suffer from it later, because usually as soon as you put your hands into water, especially hot water, maybe like a shower or washing dishes or anything like that, that moisture is going to bubble it up, and it's definitely going to, you're going to sit there and play with it and be able to peel it, and you're going to have a big, chip in the middle of your nail. Does not look cute. So definitely want to make sure that it's getting addressed. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you like knowing nail tips, getting the best product reviews on nail products, enhancing the health and strength and growth of your natural nails, then you guys know what you need to do. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure that you have your notifications on, and share. Everyone needs to know this information. Everyone wants more healthy and longer lasting manicures. So thank you again to all those that have subscribed, that are watching. I do appreciate it, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.